I don't know if I should put this as a warning at the beginning of the video, so I'm not sure where this is going to end up, but I grew up on Harry Potter. I loved Harry Potter. I still do love the original book series for all of the faults that it includes. I read The Prisoner of Azkaban so many times that it snapped the spine in half, and then I did that to 3 more copies. During my autistic burnout period, I watched the movie series over and over and over again, so many times I can't count, and I loved binging Harry Potter content everywhere, Tumblr, YouTube, everywhere. Okay, I'm not going to get on you for that, but I think at the same time we can still criticize her and the harm that she is actively doing, because she is actually doing harm, and some of the shady stuff that's happened in the books. I feel like we're all adults. We're all in our 30s and 40s now. We can stop pretending she's an innocent princess. So like I said, I don't hate y'all, but let's let's touch some grass here and actually make fun of this shitty thing she always does. Hi, I'm Des, or as JK Rowling would call me, Autisma de Non-Binarino, the Squib, because in her world, apparently the only people she can't see in Hogwarts are people that actually practice any sort of polytheistic religion and / or magic. That means you crystal girlies and the tarot readers, you ain't getting into Hogwarts. And in fact, none of us are getting into Hogwarts, to the dismay of many a fellow millennials. It's not actually real, but maybe that's a good thing. This is I Read It Somewhere, a channel where I look at whatever my brain rot leads me to online, and recently it's been doom scrolling because in the same week that my childhood dog died, my favorite musical artist gave up music because people were bullying him and his fans. And the last time I felt this bad was when I had to come to grips with the fact that JK Rowling hates every single aspect of who I am specifically for some fucking reason. Now, there are many video essays that you could watch that are 3 hours long about all the reasons why she's horrible and evil, and I'm gonna be real, most of them are a slog to get through. People who watch those are already people that disagree with her to begin with and know the shit that she's done. So this is actually going to be a less serious sort of a video ranking the stupid shit that she's done. This is not a every single thing, note by note, letter by letter things that she's done. This is just the stuff that I could think of sitting there on my phone taking notes on my notes app of just off the top of my memory with some help of video essayists like Kaylin Conrad and Jesse Genders and the Reddit thread r/enough JK Rowling. So I took down these things in my notes app and I made one of those here template things, and we're just going to rank some of the random shit that she's done on my lovely little tier board that you'll see beside me. Now, I don't need to tell you what a tier board is. This meme format has been around for a while now. So here are my tiers for the random shit that JK Rowling has done. Going from the bottom up, the lightest one, this is going to be the touch grass tier. Now this isn't the end of the world. It's just the stuff that, like, you know, maybe you should touch grass, maybe you should sign off Twitter, maybe you should just get a little dose of reality and just shut up and move on and touch grass. These are not horrible things. These are just things that maybe she shouldn't have posted online. Above that is, this might be a personality issue. Now this is a step up. This is like not the end of the world, but it's really pushing the fact that like maybe these aren't just bad takes. Maybe this is a personal issue. There's something about your personality that is just off-putting and annoying and like a little bit evil actually. And so anything that's like, what the fuck, but, you know, is not like over the top bullshit is probably gonna go here. You know, just little indicators that JK Rowling might have a diagnosis somewhere. that maybe she should look into. And I'm allowed to say that because I'm autistic. And she might be actually legitimately evil. This is going to be our middle ones. This is whistling for dogs. Everyone knows what a dog whistle is. It's not overt hatred, but it signals to the right type of people that you want to do some shitty things or that you think some shitty things. This is probably going to be the most common tier for assholes that you see all over the internet. Things that aren't like outrageous immediately, but you look at it and you're like, no, something ain't right there. And their little crony asshole pals are like, yes, absolutely. And then we have JK Umbrage. This isn't the worst, but this is evil, okay? I'm of the personal opinion. I know people like to say, oh my god, she became Voldemort, blah, blah, blah. No, she is Umbrage. She's a catty little snide little bitch that enjoys hurting people that she sees as less powerful than her. And she likes utilizing the laws to just excuse and perpetuate horrible things. And then at the top, we have lobotomy time. This is shit that is evil, that she did, that is legitimately evil, that is legitimately horrible. And the only way that we can fix this is either a lobotomy for her or a lobotomy for me. Either lobotomize her so she can't say this shit anymore, or lobotomize me so I don't have to perceive the stupid shit that comes out of this woman's mouth. I want to make it clear that I'm not taking this shit seriously. I'm tired of taking her seriously, and it's the one thing she wants more than anything else is to be taken seriously. So let's go through this list and let's take the piss out of this ridiculous woman. So the first thing on our tier list is sex is real, aka I don't know the difference between sex and gender. Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you, live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for saying that sex is real? I stand with Maya. This is not a drill. It's so fucking stupid. She goes on these constant rants talking about you can't change sex. They always want to change sex. You can't change sex. You can't change the fact that we're blah, 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 blah. And it's like, nobody at any point is saying that they were trying to change sex. People think that this is like the most horrible thing. Honestly, on the list of all the shit that she says, this is gonna go into the touch grass section, because this is the type of shit that I hear people in my family say all the time. This is the type of shit that like normies say because they don't know the difference, because frankly it's not taught, and I don't see it being taught anytime soon. With the whole sliding into the right and fascism thing that the West is trying very hard to do here in Canada and has already kind of done in the US. This one is one that annoys me specifically just because it's not true. She thinks that women are more abused than trans people. This one is a little more niche because she actually does try to hide this mentality a little bit, but she does, despite how she might say to the contrary and how she might hide it, she does think that trans people are not as hard done by and not as abused as specifically cis women. And you can see it from posts like this. The City of Edinburgh Council posts, a flag has been flying above city chambers today to mark Transgender Day of Remembrance, a day to remember people who have lost their lives to the acts of transgender violence. To which this lovely, not at all assholey person replies, really looking forward to the day a flag is flown for the Scottish victims of femicide. But sure, let's hear it for the list of trans people who've been murdered in Scotland. Ever.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
What up? I'm Jared, I'm 19, and I never fucking learned how to read.
Obviously, she's not accepting the fact that trans women are women, so she's excluding them from this situation. But statistically, not true. Not true at all. Trans people, especially trans women, are way more abused. And most of the things that she says that she's trying to protect women from, like men coming into the bathrooms and assaulting them, doesn't happen to women, but
as much. Obviously, it does still happen. But usually when men come into the bathroom to assault women, it is specifically because they think they don't perform femininity well enough. Some will come in to do abhorrent things to women specifically because they're evil. But more often than not, to the point where this conversation is frankly just insulting, When they come into a bathroom to assault a woman, it is because they are a tomboy, masked lesbian, or are assumed to be a trans person. JK Rowling constantly denies womanhood to women who aren't stereotypically feminine and meeting Western European beauty standards. Through her platform, she targets these women and further pushes for violence against them. Ironically, her rhetoric pushes for men to enter women's spaces to assault women for as little as having a bob cut or wearing a sweater while being flat-chested.
It does happen to trans people because they're trying to fix them. That's not even accounting for all the abuse that they face in the home. That's not even accounting for all the abuse that they face in their relationships. That's not accounting for literally just walking down the street, being non-gender conforming or not passing correctly and getting your ass beat because a bunch of fucking morons have nothing better to do. So this one is definitely a JK umbrage. Shit. This is some shit that is objectively incorrect, and saying it harms people, especially when it goes into the fact that she puts money behind like supporting causes that protect women, but they then excludes trans people. So this is definitely, you're a JK umbrage thing. This actively hurts people saying this stupid shit. There's really no excuse for it. For someone who everyone says, oh, she researches so much, she's so smart, all of her books has so much research, she researches everything. How can she not research basic shit like this? I don't understand it. She lost her mind on Jessie Gender for saying you shouldn't buy Hogwarts Legacy because, you know, it puts money directly into her pockets. I'm not sure it would have affected anything. She's been so rich that her money makes money alone for a long time. But also, you know, I would also never pay for Hogwarts Legacy, so whatever. But she took this personally because there's still things that she cannot stand. It's people not taking her seriously and people saying that maybe she doesn't deserve the money that she has.
This morning I woke up to a couple messages from people telling me that Queen Turf herself, JK Rowling, had retweeted me, and that's not exactly a very fun way to start off the day. Now, we've seen this a bunch of times. JK Rowling will retweet a trans person or someone supporting trans people because her Twitter timeline is just all about trans people at this point. And it will eventually lead to a ton of harassment and targeted attacking of that person. She knows that this is what her audience will do. It's basically how Twitter works at this point, especially since Elon Musk has made it more and more of a platform that is okay with transphobia and hatred. And so sadly, that is what happened to me. I definitely woke up to a lot of messages in my inbox from people that were less kind, and even more so in my mentions, and people sort of replying to my tweets and things like that. And it was not very great. Also, and this is just a random aside, but I shared a picture of my cat Newt, because he's running around here somewhere, just to make people smile in the face of J.K. Rowling's bigotry. And, like, there were TERFs that, like, attacked me for loving cats and attacked my cat? Like, what miserable people attack cats? That's just sad. And so my take simply was that if you wish to support trans people, you can't continue to support the Harry Potter franchise, at the very least, while J.K. Rowling is in charge of it. Maybe you can't support them without it being directly harmful to trans people, and sending a message to trans people around you and in your life that you care more about your entertainment than you do about our rights. But I also don't begrudge anyone who still loves Harry Potter and still enjoys like Harry Potter stuff that they've already bought. That literally was my take. Like, I don't begrudge anyone for still liking Harry Potter. Just you can't support it going forward with more money and attention if you wish to be supportive of the trans community as a whole. I mean, let's look at her tweet. It's weird, right? About, like, pure think or whatnot, which sounds like her failed attempt to sound Orwellian, claiming victimization that people might do the opposite of what I said and burn her books instead of supporting them. And their pet dogs, too, apparently, because trans-supportive people like to kill pets in defiance of transphobes? What is it with these people and, like, pet hatred? It's very weird. I did not know that this was, like, a thing, I guess.
And I think that should go into the lobotomy time section, because it's not even that she just made things harder for Jessie. It's not even that she attacked Jessie. It's the fact that Jessie said, don't burn her books, just don't spend more money. And then she went and said, oh, actually, you mean to burn all my books? It's like, no, you dumb bitch. Can you read? I know you can write, but can you read?
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
She retweeted a post that says it's impossible not to know someone's gender instinctually, that everyone knows what your gender is immediately upon looking at you, even if you transitioned, they are always correct. It's the we can always tell group, which is bullshit. You people can never tell. And I've had friends of mine be assaulted and kicked out of bathrooms for being lesbians and looking very lesbian, and people being like, actually, you're a man. Popping in here with an anecdotal thing. As I'm editing this, it brought up a memory of when I was selling credit cards as well. Basically, we're like subcontracted to go into different stores and then show out this credit card. It was shitty. But like, you have you can wear whatever you want, but you have a dress code, which is like black pants and a dress shirt. And I know it surprises some people because I appear very feminine on these videos, but I am actually non-binary, and sometimes it causes some confusion for some people, because I remember specifically I wore these black slacks and I wore like, I think it's called a polo shirt. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. It wasn't the best outfit in the world, but I didn't wear makeup, as I often don't give a shit to wear makeup. And I had my hair pulled back into a bun in the back of my head, and I had less hair then than I do now. And to put it frankly, I looked like a fat dude. I looked like several of my cousins that are dudes. I looked like a fat dude. And I remember walking directly into the girls' washroom that was by the part of the store where they do like tires and automotive stuff. And I remember coming out and seeing a guy at the counter of the garage area of the store glaring at me for going into the women's room and sneering at me the entire way back. Never had an issue with him before, never even talked to him. But as soon as he saw me come out of that bathroom, he looked like I had kicked a dog or something like that. And that was just because I didn't have makeup and I wore my hair back, and I wasn't breasting boobily along, you know? So you can miss me with the whole we can always tell shit, because you motherfuckers can never tell. Also, this has been very like trans women and lesbian oriented, but here's a video from Zach from New Year's, where he was getting accosted simply for being in the men's bathroom, which, like, he is a dude, but they don't like that he's not. Just watch this shit. Like, this is so stupid.
Yeah, take a fucking picture of me. Take a video. Say what you were just saying to me. Yeah, I don't like a dude with fucking, show your face, fucking pearls on his eyes. Yeah, I don't like this shit. In a men's bathroom. Showing your fucking chest like a girl, like a fucking girl. Dressed like a girl, fucking belly button, fucking rings like a girl.
You know what, too? I used the stall because I didn't want any fucking problems.
Because you're a fucking bitch. You're a fucking girl.
And
you want to be a girl so bad.
They don't want transgender women. I'm not transgender, by the way. But they don't want transgender women to use the women's bathroom. They don't want gay men to use the men's bathroom. I guess I'll just piss on the floor.
Why don't you just go to the girls' bathroom?
Because I'm a fucking boy.
Exactly. So why you dress like this? You got them all over me. Come on, let me get in this shit.
And this isn't even unusual. There have been reports of lesbians being forced to, like, leave the bathroom.
They came in here in the girls' restroom because I'm a girl, and they didn't think I was a girl, so they try to come take me away because I'm a girl.
Women that just even present more masculine being forced to show their breasts to security guards, and then still being kicked out and accosted. It's not true. It's not true. It's a very stupid thing to say, but unfortunately it is also a dog whistle, because the laymen who don't really interact with all of this, who aren't in the whole sphere of this gender argument, they will look at that and be like, actually, yeah, you're right. I can always tell. No. And then the people that are just transphobic and will always misgender you nonstop will always be like, yes, actually, you're right. And then da 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 da. So this is actually a dog whistle. The idea that you can always tell what someone's gender is. This one is just more of a opinion on my part. The satanic book burnings resulted in her thinking that any criticism is on the exact same level as when parents were burning her books and is saying that she was the devil, which is just very, very, I don't know how to say other than it's stupid. The most milquetoast criticism of like, hey, this was untrue, or hey, this is a stereotype, or hey, this is transphobic, or hey, maybe don't be hateful, is not the same as burning all of her books and then saying that she's the devil going to hell.
And I worry very deeply that as the left becomes increasingly puritanical and authoritarian and judgmental, we are pushing swathes of people towards not just the right, it's pushing them to the alt-right. In my lifetime, we've seen such a shift on the left, and I still would define myself as of the left. But, I was born in the 60s, when transgression really was the preserve of the left. When challenging authority and making the dark joke and when breaking societal norms was very much the preserve of the left. I've lived to see the left become incredibly puritanical and rigid, and watching the alt-right, and this is a new phenomenon. The alt-right is not the conservative right, with whom I disagree on many, many things, but I'm just saying we're seeing the growth of something very much facilitated by the internet that alarms and disturbs me. And it worries me that the left are absolutely playing into that demographic's hands.
This is what I mean. This is exactly what I mean. Oh, it's just dark humor. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I can't make mistakes. And like literally talking about, well, this is what brings people to the far right and blah, 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 blah. When like, bitch, all anyone said was like, don't be transphobic. And hey, the banking goblins maybe want to talk about that. Maybe want to talk about the blatant racism, about Cho Chang. People were like overly nice to her. Like no one's... I would hazard to say that nobody's really given her any actual pushback, and it was just like the milquetoast fucking tweets on Twitter of like, hey, want to explain yourself, want to say sorry, blah blah blah, but no, it's driving her to the far right because in the 60s they could make transgressive jokes and they could fuck up and nobody would ever say anything to them. But now that people are saying stuff to them and now that people are saying stuff to her, it's puritanical, it's like, just shut the fuck up, bitch. That's all anyone's asking. Shut the fuck up and get off of Twitter. Jesus. This is going to go into JK Umbridge, because this is the type of stupid shit that Professor Umbridge would do. Oh, what, you criticize me? Clearly you think I'm Satan and evil. I will tell the minister about this. This one is a personal gripe. She glorified Snape's inceldom and vilified the Marauders for beating his ass.
When I joined the Wizards for the elimination of all Mudbloods Club, I didn't realize that included the Mudblood that I wanted to date. And suddenly I'm not that cool with it anymore. But it's not like I didn't try to do anything about it, okay? I went to the Dark Lord and I said, listen, you can Avada Kedavra the husband and baby. Actually, prefer it if you Avada Kedavra the husband. Just leave Lily alive and widowed for me. And he said no. You are a disgusting little man.
I have done so many fucking takes of this. So many takes. The thing about Severus is that he never gets better. The things that cause him to give his life away, the things that cause him to join the good side, they're the exact same things that caused him to go to the dark side, too. The problem with his character is not that he was, well, it was, but it's not exclusively because he was on the dark side. It was because he was psycho obsessed over Lily. I'm sorry, he was. He joined the dark side because she wouldn't date him and because she got mad when he called her a slur. Okay? That's what caused him to join the dark side. And despite being so upset about being told no that he joined basically wizard Hitler Youth, he continues to obsess over her throughout that entire time. When she dies, he's not upset that an innocent child is now orphaned. He's not upset that James got killed. He's upset that Lily is dead and he cradles her body, which is supposed to be framed as romantic, but it's not romantic because I would like to remind you again, he was never dating her. He hadn't spoken to her since they were young kids. The last time he saw her, he called her a slur. And for better or for worse, she and her entire friend group, including her husband, fucking hate this guy. Outwardly, vocally. Anyway, so he joins the order, not because he had some revelation that what he did was wrong, but it was because, well, now she can't say no because she's dead. But Voldemort essentially said no for her. And it's just stupid. He continues to obsess over her all throughout his teaching career. Because, like, one of the few things he says before he dies is that very infamous quote of, like, oh, you still love her, always. And then you have your mother's eyes. This is supposed to be romantic. This is not romantic. Again, they've never been together. It's not good. And he doesn't fix his shitty behavior either because he's bullying the kids the entire time. Neville Longbottom's terrified of him and he tells Harry straight to his face that he fucking hates him specifically because he reminds him of James. But because he died on the right side, giving his life for the order, everything's okay now. Everything's okay. To the point where Lily's grandchildren now bear the name of the man that obsessed over her and basically and called her a slur and wouldn't let her have any peace even in death. And this is the person JK Rowling wants us to think is the hero, while Sirius Black is supposed to be seen as like kind of like a protagonist, but misguided and not really a good person. Like, it's so insane. It's so insane. And it's one of the things that have irked me the most. Again, he never fixes anything. He continues to do the same shitty things he's always done until he dies. He was horrible when he was born. He was horrible throughout his childhood. He was horrible as an adult. And then he died horrible. And she wants everyone to go, oh, what a hero. He's so good. No, he's not. He's a fucking weird-ass, greasy-haired incel. What the fuck are you talking about? So we're going to put this into the lobotomy time section. Because if you legitimately think that after years of stalking, obsession, blatant racism, along with much more, and joining a hate group is wiped away and should be forgiven just because he died, just because he gave up his life for that, I think you're stupid. I think legitimately that's a part of you that is broken without repair. It's understandable in like tweens, okay? But she still backs this shit up. She still thinks this way, which is actually really indicative of why she is in the situation that she is with the greater public, because she thinks that she can do anything and then get away with it by acting nice or saying a little apology and then going on. Though scratch that, 'cause she's never fucking apologized for shit, has she? No, she hasn't. This is just the Harry Potter TV show. I'm tired of reboots, man. I really am. Listen, the core fandom didn't want you to make a fucking TV show. We all know that you're doing it specifically to spite Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. Okay, we know that. We know it's a money grab and we know it's to get back at them. If you wanted a money grab, you should have made the fucking Marauders show that show or movie, actually, or book that everyone was asking for. In a business sense, that would have been way better. But my theory is that if she did that, she would have to actually go in and analyze what it is to stand up against oppression, and she would have to actually interact with Sirius Black, who is either gay or asexual. She would have to go in and interact with Lupin, who was an analogy for gayness and the A's. Like, she would have to actually analyze and think through and support mentalities that she herself just doesn't have. This might be a personality issue. It's not horrible, but it's the type of thing that only a person with a really, really shitty fucking personality would do. It's a money grab. It's made out of spite. And it's made just ignoring your fan base too, which is like the worst fucking part of it. Again, the Marauders were right there. I think you might actually win back some of the crowd that are like, I'm never doing any Harry Potter stuff again, if you did the Marauders. Like, it would actually somehow go in your graces. But nope, we're gonna make a spite, hateful TV show to grift. I just, ugh. This pisses me off. She lacks an understanding of her own writing, which kind of ties into some of the other things I said. But like, this woman wrote Tonks, a non-binary queen, whose whole storyline is very non-binary, and yet she hates non-binary people. She thinks we don't exist. She wrote Lupin as an analogy for the trauma that the gay community went through, but then at the same time, like, ended it with, oh, but he actually should leave Hogwarts because he actually is a danger to the kids.
No, I resign, actually.
Resign? Why?
It seems that somebody let slip the nature of my condition. This time tomorrow, the owls will start arriving, and parents will not want someone like me teaching their children.
But Dumbledore...
Dumbledore has already risked enough on my behalf. Besides, people like me are... well, let's just say that I'm used to it by now.
I mean, I'm not a therapist or psychologist, but what is that?
She thinks asexuality doesn't exist, but then said outright that Sirius never had a partner, a serious partner, just because he couldn't be arsed. He was too busy being punk and rebelling.
Does Harry have a godmother? If so, will she make an appearance in future books? No, he doesn't. I have thought this through. If Sirius had married, Sirius was too busy being a big rebel to get married. When Harry was born, it was at the very height of Voldemort fever last time, so his christening was a very hurried, quiet affair with just Sirius, just the best friend. At that point, it looked as if the Potters would have to go into hiding, so obviously they could not do the big christening thing and invite lots of people. Sirius is the only one, unfortunately. I have got to be careful what I say there, haven't I?
You write these queer characters, and then you go and say, actually no, and actually it's all fake. And it's like, I don't... She writes a whole story about anti-fascism, about standing up to the government and against totalitarianism, and about standing up for what's right and embracing the weirdos and saying that it's okay to be different and fighting against supremacy, while turning around and embodying all those fucking things herself. I just, how? Not only does she embody it, she turns around, she tries to say that, like, the queers and the trans specifically are the Death Eaters. I'm like, I don't understand how we got there. Did the moles get to your head? Do you have lead poisoning? Did you get COVID? If you tell me that she got COVID, I might actually forgive her a little bit, because that can, like, ruin your brain. I would say that this is a lobotomy time for how stupid it is. Unfortunately, I do think that this is not that serious in the grand scheme of things, and she should in fact just touch grass. I think if she spent more time outside of her little bubble with normal people, talking talking to people and not just constantly going between typing away on Twitter all the time, which already, if you're on Twitter 24/7, like that's not a good thing for your mental health. But like if she went anywhere else then between Twitter and fucking brunches filled with, I was gonna say Nazis here, which isn't completely fair, but a lot of these women have been accused of anti-Semitism, and a lot of them will deny the existence of transgender people, and especially the persecution of transgender people within the Holocaust. So, you know, if it walks like a Nazi and quacks like a Nazi, it's probably a fucking Nazi, but this is my opinion. And it's a little bit of a mean one, but there it is. I don't know, I think maybe she wouldn't be the way she is, but I legitimately think she doesn't go out and she doesn't have friends. So she doesn't touch grass, and she doesn't really understand her own writing because she doesn't understand the analogies and the things she used to write about. Because as shitty, as annoying of a person she was back then, she was still around other people, right? She still socialized. She was still more in touch. I think the more isolated she made herself after she got famous, the more she drifted away from reality. This one is going into JK umbrage because when people brought up the fact that like women with PCOS can have full beards and deeper voices and present very masculinely, she basically went, well, no.
I was 16 years old when I first started growing hair on my face. I was really shocked and I didn't understand why. There were a lot of negative comments. People would make fun of me and send notes with pictures of razors. At work, I've been yelled at by customers in customer service, yelled at about my facial hair. I waxed it. I tried like a cream removal and shaved. I avoided going out as much as humanly possible because in order to go out, I had to remove the hair, and it felt like removing the hair, I was becoming someone else or trying to be someone else. So I would stay home so that I could just be myself.
What is the actual medical
condition?
How was this transpired?
Wow. So
Because I don't know.
I have polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Right.
Say that 5 times.
Polycystic ovarian syndrome.
It's hard, isn't it?
Polycystic ovarian syndrome. Polycystic ovarian syndrome. Polycystic ovarian syndrome. Polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Yes.
Come on.
Do you know what? It's such a tongue twister.
Yeah.
That when I was diagnosed, in my early teens, I thought I was dying of a rare condition because no one spoke about it. No one in the media, no one, I just thought, Ikia, what is it?
Right.
What it is I have a pearl in my ovaries, right?
Pearl?
Like a pearl necklace.
Right.
The pearl necklace around my ovaries are cysts, Hannah.
Right.
So they are eggs that have not ovulated.
Right.
An egg, it grows to a certain point and then it comes out of the ovary down the fallopian tube there, and it comes out as a period. But what's happened is my eggs haven't matured, so they're sitting around my ovaries like a pearl necklace.
Mm-hmm.
It's also the reasons why I have a hormonal imbalance within my body. And that can come through a variety of things, whether it's genetics, it could be something hereditary, it could be food, diet related, it could be absolutely anything. A gene could have come down my father or it could have come down my mother, Hannah. There's a lot of things. So I have more androgen in my body, which is the male hormone, which causes the facial hair. It causes the imbalance of hormone. It will cause the acne, the hair growth, the obesity, the insomnia, the lack of self-esteem, the lack of quality of life could be bad. There's so much that comes with bad gut health, inflammation, irregular periods, you can't get pregnant or it's hard to get pregnant. There's a lot that comes with it.
So you have most of those symptoms as well, it's not just...
I have multiple symptoms, Jesus Christ, yeah. That's why I can't really, I'm so ready to go. I'm like, I cannot wait to be born into a whole other body, and I hope it's a guy's body, I really do. This beard on a guy, Jesus Christ.
It does look good though.
Does it?
No, I'm not disrespecting. It looks very shiny.
Yeah, I ordered it for you
Do you
today.
like maintain
I was like,
it?
do you know what? I need to look, put in half an effort, darling.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Hanan, what's wrong with you? It's like,
Yeah.
I ordered it before I came.
But it's done,
No,
like-
I always do, yeah.
And in fact, there are men. Someone called up to one of the shelters that I support or volunteer. I forget, whatever. Someone called up to a shelter saying that she was a woman with full facial hair and PCOS. And then hung up. So clearly it's fake. And it's like, as someone with PCOS? Oh, this makes me mad, bitch. I got my shit under control, but to do that, I had to almost die, get a hysterectomy, go on metformin, and start inositol. I looked very manly before doing those things, which is okay, but like, my build was different. I had to shave my face a lot more than I do now. So it's just, and I'm an alto too. Like, I have to bring my voice up for these videos. It's just stupid. It's just rude. It's just stupid. It's ignorant in the literal sense of the word. So I think this is going to go with JK Umbridge. Because again, this mentality, on top of it just being ignorant and stupid, it does actually cause issues because people with PCOS, as well as the lesbians and just women who are the people that she praises so much for being tomboys, those are the people that get kicked out of bathrooms, that get assaulted in bathrooms now, specifically because of her. And the legislation that she funded and pushed for in the UK.
JK Rowling uses Harry Potter wealth to fund anti-transgender organisations. JK Rowling already has a history of using her Harry Potter wealth in order to fund anti-trans rhetoric, including donating £70,000 to a Supreme Court case that has rolled back trans rights in the UK. Now she's reportedly using her Harry Potter wealth to fund an anti-transgender organisation. JK Rowling is using her wealth attained from the Harry Potter series to create an organisation dedicated to removing transgender people's rights in the workplace, in public life, and in protected women's spaces. The tagline of this organisation is a legal fighting fund for women protecting their sex-based rights. Basically sounds like an organisation that's going to fund transphobic people's legal cases when they face consequences for their transphobia, or fund them when they want to actively challenge trans people's rights. This is the exact kind of thing that we'll look back on in 10, 20 years and be absolutely horrified that anybody had the audacity to be so openly bigoted and put so much money behind being bigoted. I really don't understand the level of misunderstanding and bigotry that someone has decided to dedicate their life to, and unfortunately someone with an incredible amount of wealth who seems to now be solidifying transphobia as their true legacy. So yeah, I really think we're beyond the point of people being able to financially support Harry Potter and JK Rowling and still be able to call themselves a trans ally.
Which, bled into the West. It should be noted that she did this, and then the West started doing what they were doing with trans people. She legitimately caused a lot of the issues that trans people, women, and gender nonconforming people deal with right now. It's safe to say she has a body count. She'd probably transvestigate me. I'm gonna put a photo up here. Look at that and tell me she wouldn't fucking transvestigate me back before I got my shit figured out. She would. She's admitted that she fantasizes about killing people, which is weird, normal people don't do that. And it's even more gross when you know that she's probably talking like exclusively about the trans people that call her out. Now, every time I see her like snapping back or being horrible to someone who opposes her, or anytime she mocks trans people, I absolutely, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking she probably wants them to die, legitimately. And that's fucked. That's fucked. And so for that, you are, again, going into the JK Umbridge slots. This one is stupid. She's got a weird beef with non-binary people. See, she thinks that everyone is actually non-binary. Everyone. But at the same time that non-binary people don't exist, because everyone's non-binary. But remember that actually no, because there are two genders, but everyone's non-binary. But if you don't present female, then you should be kicked out of bathrooms. I know she doesn't actually think that all people are non-binary, but I'm keeping this in because her opinions are just very, very silly. Because whenever someone talks about this, she'll bring up how people are allowed to be like androgynous. People are allowed to be more feminine or more masculine and blah, blah, blah. Right? So in her own words, well, by that reasoning, everyone's non-binary, but it's stupid, and she knows it's stupid, and she doesn't even believe the things that she's saying, because she doesn't believe that people can be more masculine when they're a lady, or more feminine when they're a man, or androgynous in any way, because the moment that they are, she starts fucking transvestigating them. And I'm not going to reiterate everything that we've said here. This is a 45-minute long video already, but yeah, I know that she doesn't think that everyone is non-binary, but I refuse to take her seriously because she refuses to talk about this seriously, so this is staying in. But everyone is non-binary. And remember that tomboys exist, but also if you are a tomboy, or if you're a woman that doesn't look womanly and was born a woman, then in fact you're a man. She's just very stupid. This is a very stupid thing to say that a lot of other very stupid people say. It's not dog whistling. It's not a personality issue. It's just touch grass. Because again, this is the type of stupid thing that someone that like your drunk uncle would say at Christmas dinner. It's just not reality. And if she thought for even a second about the contradictory nature of the shit that she's saying, she'd be like, oh wait, something ain't right here. This one gets me just because of the hypocrisy of it all. See, she claims to be a feminist while publicly and openly supporting Marilyn Manson, Johnny Depp, and Tristan Tate. Like, after it came out that Marilyn Manson did those horrible things to Evan Rachel Wood, she sent him flowers. She sent him flowers. I'm a feminist and I was abused and I want to protect abused women, but then you're okay with Marilyn Manson? And you're okay with the brother of the Tate brother? The ones that did the sexual slavery and the human trafficking and the rape? Miss Ma'am, explanation please. Come to the front, because you can either support them or you can be feminist. You can't be both. So for that, and for supporting human trafficking and supporting rapists and abusers while claiming to be all that, you need a lobotomy, not me. This one's on you. There's something ain't right up there, okay? There's a monkey with the little syllables in your brain and it's stopped working. This one is a personality issue. And this one is the worst, in my opinion, of her personality issues, because it's just fucking cringe. She thinks she's so funny. And listen, I'm not a smart person, and apparently I'm not funny either. To quote my comments, I'm an unfunny moron. But at least I'm not out here saying womben, wimpmond, woomward. There used to be a word for that. It's at the intersection of annoying and cringe. This might be a personality issue and it might be terminal. I, at the very least, am fucking dying from the cringe every time I see this stupid fucking tweet. And it does the rounds because everyone thinks it's stupid and everyone thinks it's creepy, so everyone brings the tweet up. She speaks for cis lesbians and quite frankly won't shut up. She constantly talks about people in penised bodies pretending to be lesbians and transing the lesbians and taking the lesbians away from the lesbians, and the lesbians hate trans people, when in reality lesbians are like some of the most supportive of trans people and have constantly asked her to shut the fuck up. Don't just take my word on it. Here is the r/enough JK Rowling subreddit where I'm getting some of my stuff from. And someone posted, I have a question for the lesbians in this sub. How do you feel about JK Rowling using lesbians as a shield for her transphobia? I'm not a lesbian or a woman, so I can't speak for them, but from what I've seen, many lesbians are pro-trans and hate how JoJo speaks for them. And yeah, it's like something like 93% of lesbians support trans people. Someone who has deleted their account says, I'm a cis lesbian and I hate it. She is speaking over us and it sucks. I don't want to be assumed to be a transphobic bitch because I'm not, but it seems that Joe has the intent of painting every cis lesbian under the sun that way. She also isn't even doing it out of genuine concern. She's just using us to portray trans people in a negative light. Optic Chaos says, as a cis lesbian who's been the victim of transphobia, I used to present fairly androgynous and thus not feminine enough. I cannot stand the rhetoric of protecting women. It harms everyone. Cis, trans, male, female, non-binary. It is just disgusting. This is gross. She's using the same talking points against trans women that were used against lesbians in the 80s and 90s. That they're invading bathrooms to prey on cis, straight women. Wait, there were people in favor of separate bathrooms for lesbians? Not necessarily separate bathrooms, but there were a lot of harassment of lesbians in women's bathrooms and locker rooms, and a lot of concern that lesbians would molest other women or girls in there. And aside, personal note, yeah. As soon as anyone thought you were queer, you were harassed in bathrooms and changing rooms. I was 10 or 11 when gay marriage was legalized here in Canada, and they used to call me Des the Les and yell that to me on the bus. And changing, and granted this wasn't in the 90s, this was in like early 2000s, again, around 2005. You, even back then, even with how young I was, it was not fun. You stand in a corner, you have your back to everyone else, you try to shrink into the shadows as much as possible just to get dressed, knowing that people are sneering at you and making comments anyway. Yep, same shit, different thing. But enough about me. Back to this. I grew up in the 90s and I'm a trans man. Back in the day, we didn't have that term really. My peers just thought I was a lesbian because that was the only word we had for a person assigned female who's masculine, but more masculine than a tomboy. I was harassed in the locker room and bathrooms relentlessly. I would hide in the stall until I was sure the room was empty, because otherwise I would get verbally and sometimes physically assaulted for being where I quote unquote didn't belong. It lasted a long time. I felt such shame even into adulthood for using public bathrooms. I'd still wait until no one was in the room to leave the stall. Which, yes, in some busy bathrooms meant I'd be in the stall for half an hour or longer. Or I couldn't get into the bathroom because there were women in there when I opened the door. I just wouldn't use it. I'd hold my bladder, and it sticks with you. It really does. I still refuse to go into changing rooms with, like at gyms or at saunas. Like, friends have tried to drag me into the pool, and there will be like people like, I'm not going in there till they're all gone. I'm sorry, I don't care if we're waiting a half an hour, I'm not going in there. And to hear modern TERFs claim that this never happened and that lesbians were always welcomed into these spaces because all females are, it's only the trans women who are being ousted, it stings. It calls me a liar, it tells me my trauma never happened, and it's bullshit. I lived it. It's all the same gatekeeping of womanhood. It's just a new target. Yep. Pretty much. And that she's wrong. And that she doesn't speak for them. And she just doesn't. She calls them the gender Taliban. She moves on. She's fucking white knighting for everyone, but at the same time, like, stabbing them in the throat. And it's just like, I don't understand why you are the way you are. This is unfortunately going into the dog whistles, because anytime someone says some shit like they're transing the lesbians or they're stealing the lesbians, it leads into other shit. There we go. Okay. We're gonna ignore the fact that my bed is unmade behind there. The framing for my camera usually, has it so that the background is blurred and you can't see that, but my camera has died because either I have the worst battery in the world, or I constantly forget to charge it. Either could be valid. Yeah, so this ended up being a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. This was supposed to be just like a short little haha video, but then like as soon as I got to editing, I knew like you can't make some of these claims without backing them up with some form of proof. So this is the cut down version with a lot of stuff cut and edited out, and it's still 53 minutes 53 seconds and 11 nanoseconds or whatever that is long, and this is only half, less than half actually, I think, of the recorded footage. So this is going to be put up into 2 parts. I don't know if I'm going to have a normal video or 2 or 3 in between, because this did take a long time to do, but we shall see. I'm sorry that I have been not uploading. My family dog died. I had a severe ear infection for like a whole month, and then I got sick, and this was right after moving, and then it was the Christmas season, so I had to go visit people, and then this stupid video happened, which is taking forever to fucking edit. So if you want to support me and my very hectic upload schedule and hopefully support me putting out more than 1 video every few months, you can head on to my Patreon. We have tiers for as low as $5. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. If you don't like it, let me know in the comments. Keep it civil. Any interaction at all helps me in the algorithm. And yeah, if you like videos like this, please let me know. I will do more weird things like this if you guys like. Generally we just react to stuff on Reddit, but if not, okay, that's fine. Let me know. I want to see what y'all think.